Hello beautiful people, hope you are having a great week. I'm here with another tutorial, but before I begin, I want to appreciate everyone subscribed to my channel. Much love to you guys. To new viewers, you are very much welcome today. I hope you enjoy this tutorial and learn a thing or two. But before leaving, don't forget to subscribe and give me a big thumbs up. You can leave your comments in the comment section. Thank you. Now let's get started. Okay guys, so I have an illustration here to demonstrate what we're going to do so that it will make it a lot easier for us to understand. Okay, so this is the wrap dress that we're going to draft out. Okay, and usually when we draft out our pattern, it's usually a quarter of our body measurement. Okay, it usually starts from the center here, okay, all the way to the side here. All right, so but for this particular dress, it's going to extend out because of the overlap. So now what I've done is, this is a quarter of my waist circumference measurement, which is 7 inches. From here to here also is a quarter of my waist circumference measurement. So what I decided is, instead of going all the way to the 7 inches, I decided to stop 1 inch away from the 7 inches. You can stop 2 inches away from whatever measurement you have, but I decided to stop my own at 6 inches. Okay, so that is going to be our extension. So from this point to this point, it's going to be 16 inches. So you're going to have your pattern paper all the way from this point to this point. Okay, so now when you determine how much you want, what is the measurement you want, okay, like for example mine is 6 inches, what you're going to do from the beginning of your pattern paper, you measure from the edge of your pattern paper, measure 6 inches. So you measure from that point up to where your 6 inches stop, draw a straight line, okay, then fold that portion under your pattern paper, and from there continue drafting the remaining part of your pattern. Okay, this is our pattern paper. I have measured and folded under my overlap, so you can see it is 6 inches. All right, so I've also gone ahead to draw my horizontal lines from shoulder to bust point, shoulder to waist, shoulder to hip, and the full length of our dress. From the center fold, mark your neck width measurement. I have 3 inches here, so I'll just mark that on the starting line. On the center fold, place your neck depth measurement. So I have 3 inches there. Now I connect both points together to form the front neckline. So on the center fold also, go down by 1 inch to mark your point and connect to the neck width to form your back neckline. On the starting line, place half your shoulder measurement, mark it, go down by 1 inch and mark it. Connect these 2 points together to form the shoulder slope. Now you place your armhole length measurement, mark it and join the points together. After that, draw a line across to form the chest line. Measure half of your armhole length, mark it, go in by half an inch, then connect from the shoulder slope to that point. Go to your chest line and place a quarter of your bust circumference measurement and mark it. From that point, finish up your armhole curve. So we have the front armhole. For the back armhole, just go to the center point there and make your curve to the chest line. The next thing we're going to do is impute a quarter of our waist circumference measurement and 1 inch for that allowance. So you mark it there. Then you place a quarter of your hip measurement also. You mark it. Go down to the hem. You place that same measurement, quarter of your hip circumference measurement, but you're going to reduce it by 1.5 inches and mark whatever you have. Okay, so connect these 2 points together. Then using your curve ruler, join the other points together. The next thing we're going to do is to form our darts. So place half your nipple to nipple measurement on the bust point line, on the waistline, and also on the hip line. Connect these points together. Then from the hip line, go up by 2 inches. Now from the bust point line, go down by 1 inch. On the waistline, place half an inch on either side of the dart fold line. Now connect these points together just like I'm doing. You can actually skip the process of placing darts on your wrap dress. especially if you are using stretchy fabric. So it's up to you to use that or not, okay? Go ahead and place the 1-inch allowance at the side, then connect these points together. At the hem, place 1/2 inch hem allowance. Then you go to the shoulder slope and place 1/2 inch joining allowance. We are done with the back pattern now, so we can go ahead and cut it out using the back neckline and the back armhole, okay? After cutting out the back pattern, I'll place it on my fabric and cut out the back bodies. Alright, then I'll come and complete the front bodies on the pattern paper. I've placed the pattern paper over the fabric and the fabric is on fold, okay? So now we can begin to cut it out because we have added all the allowances. So the next thing you're going to do is to transfer your dart. So just watch as I transfer the dart, okay? Now that we're done with the darts, we can keep our back bodies aside, okay? The next thing we're going to do is work on the front body. So open up your pattern paper. On the center fold, place the depth of the neckline you want. That is going to be the point where both of the wrap intersects. Here, I am placing 6 inches from the shoulder line. Remember, we took off 1 inch from the back neckline. So place your tape this way and mark whatever depth you want. On the waistline, I will go up by 2 inches because of the belt. After that, I will draw my neckline with a curve, connecting all the points together. So from the neck width here, connect using your curved ruler. I'll use my pencil first so that I can adjust if necessary before highlighting it with the marker. Now that we are done with the upper part, we'll move to the lower part, okay? We are going to shape it now from the waistline to the hemline. Okay, so just watch what I'm doing and create your own curve. Okay guys, so this is what we have right now. The next thing we're going to do is to cut it out. So we're going to be starting from the front armhole. We will be using this pattern to cut out 2 pieces of fabric, which is going to overlap. For me, I want a cut at the waistline because I'm trying to manage the leftover fabric I'm using for this tutorial. So this step is entirely optional. You don't have to cut it at the waistline, okay? Before I cut it out, I would like to show you how to get the belt measurement. Considering this is the bodice that is going to be on top, and this is the left side, and this is the right side. At the left side, we will have the shorter rope, and the length I will be using is 30 inches. Now, the second piece of fabric that sits under this one will have the belt come out on the right side. So this rope here will pass through the back of the dress and come out towards this side, which is the left. Now remember, the belt on the left is just 30 inches. So the one that is coming from right that will pass through the back to come and tie with the one on the left will be longer. So measure half of your waist circumference measurement. Whatever you get, add 30 inches to it. I have 14 inches plus 30 inches will give me 44 inches, and I'll add an inch allowance. Everything is 45 inches, okay? So go ahead and work out your own measurement. Next, I'm going to split my pattern, but please remember that this step is optional. I have gone ahead to cut out 2 pieces of the upper part of the front bodice on fabric. I've also added 1/2 inch for joining allowance at both sides. I did not add allowance at the neckline because we are going to embellish it with bias tape. I'll just remove my pattern paper now and transfer the darts. I've gone ahead to add 1/2 inch for joining allowance on the lower part of our body. So the next thing we're going to do is to transfer the darts, okay? Right now we have all the pieces of our dress. This is 2 pieces of the upper one, 2 pieces of the lower, and this is the back unfold. Okay, so we've added our darts, we have transferred the darts, so we're going to go and take in the darts and join the 2 front pieces together. I've attached both pieces together in front and taking in all the darts. So the next thing we're going to do is to go to the machine, join them at the shoulder and also at the side. This is what it looks like after joining at the shoulder and at the side. So to the back hem, I'm removing the 0.5 inches that we added for allowance, okay, because we're going to embellish the edge, so we don't need that, so just cut it off. Right now we're going to use our bias to finish the edge of our dress. The bias is going to run all the way through the entire edge of our dress. Our fabric is on the wrong side and this is our bias. Starting from this point here, open up the bias and place the right side of the bias flat on the wrong side of the fabric, making sure that the edges align. Then, using your machine, stitch on this crease line by 1/4 inch all through the front and back neckline. After stitching it, fold over the bias to the right side of your fabric. So you fold it over, tucking in the edges and stitch down at the edge of your bias. So that's what we'll do. We'll do the same for all the other edges, okay? This is the lower part of the front body, so we're about to put our bias. So fold the bias over and align it to the same line here. Lay it flat on the wrong side and make sure the edges align. So now you can begin stitching your bias on the fabric on the crease line. When you get towards the end of the fabric, cut the bias and fold over like we did when we started, making sure it aligns with the seam line. Then finish stitching. The next thing to do is to flip your fabric until the right side is facing up. Then you fold over the bias, okay? So you fold it over this way, you tuck in the other side. You can see what I'm doing. You fold it over and you begin to stitch close to the edge of the bias. For the neckline, you just place your bias flat on the wrong side like we did for the lower part and begin to stitch it, okay? So now we'll fold it over just like we did earlier before and we'll finish up the stitches, sewing very close to the edge of the bias. This is what it looks like so far. It came out pretty well. You can see what we have right now. Our dress is really coming out beautiful. So the next thing we're going to do is to attach the belt. I have both belt strips here, one longer than the other. This is the shorter one, measuring about 32 inches. This is the one going to be on top. And I have cut 2 pieces. the width is 2 inches. The longer one is about 46 inches and it's also 2 inches wide, and you need 2 pieces too. Right now we're going to add bias to the belt. Okay, so these are the 2 pieces of our belt. So what you're going to do, open up your bias, then fold it into 2 this way. Okay, you can use an iron to press it so that it lays flat. Then you place the side that is open, okay, not the fold area, the place that is open at the edge of the strip. Then you place the other strip over it. Then you go and stitch it by 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so that's what you're going to do, and this is the notch that will show after you've stitched it. All right, so you stitch it all the way down. You go to the other side also and do the same thing until you get back to the top. Okay, then at the bottom on one edge you close it up. All right, then you turn your rope inside out. So our belts are ready now. The shorter belt is the one going to be on top. Now place it towards the edge and stitch it by 1/2 inch. Fold it over also and stitch it again. So you do the same thing also for the inner one. Right now I'll be making the sleeve, and we are making a tulip sleeve. Get your pattern paper and place on fold. At the upper part of your pattern paper, measure out 4 inches because there's going to be gathers at the top. Do the same at the other side, then connect both points together. So this is our starting line. The height of my sleeve is going to be 8 inches. So I have just exactly 8 inches here. The next thing we're going to put is the cap height line. It is usually between 2 inches to 5 inches. So whatever yours is, just place it on your pattern paper. So I'm going to be using 3.6 inches. So I'll just mark that on both sides and I'll connect together. Next, place half of your armhole measurement on the line and mark. Now connect these 2 points together. So from that point now, we'll be connecting to the sleeve opening. So take your round bicep measurement, then using half of the measurement plus 1 inch ease, place whatever you have on the hemline. Mine is 5.5 inches plus 1 inch will be 6.5 inches. So I'll just mark 6.5 inches here and I'll connect to this point. So next, you're going to draw your armhole curve. So measure about 2 inches away from the edge, just like I've done. Then you start to draw your curve, okay? So when you get to that 2 inches area, you start descending, all right, and make your curve. So you see what I've done? I'll use my marker to highlight it. Okay, so that is it. This is our sleeve, our basic sleeve pattern. So I'm just going to cut it out. Now open up your pattern paper and highlight the center fold. From that center line, mark 4 inches towards the right side. Okay, you do the same also for the left side. That's where we're going to have the overlap and the gathers, okay? From the hem, go up by 3.5 inches or 4 inches, whatever is okay for you, okay? Because that is going to be where both the edge of the tulip intersects, okay? So whatever you want, just put it. So I'm using 3.5 inches here, okay? Then also you extend the line on the hem. You mark 3 inches on both sides also. Using your curve ruler, connect these points together just like I am doing. At this point, you can see where both of them intersect, okay? So this is how it's going to look when it is folded. I just wanted to show you how it looks, okay? So the next thing we're going to do is to cut it out. This is what we have right now. So you can just blend it up at this sharp point here. Then this is the pattern we're going to use to cut our sleeves. So we're going to transfer it onto our fabric right now, okay? Make sure you notch the tip. This is the lining of our sleeve. So I've already added allowances. So you notch it at those points, okay? So you need 4 pieces of this. Then you also need 4 pieces of the fabric. But if you are using the fabric for the lining, you need 8 pieces total. So these are the lining and the fabric. We have 4 pieces of each. So right now what we're going to do is to add gum stay on the lining pieces. So I have fused the gum stay to the lining. The next thing we're going to do is to take 2 pieces of each of our sleeve and join them together. Okay, so you take the fabric, join it together by 1 inch. You also take the lining, join it together by 1 inch. So after stitching it together, what you're going to do is to take your bias. You take one of the sleeve and measure how much length you want. Okay, so I'll just place the bias at the edge here and just take it round to just know the measurement I'll need. So I'll just add a little extra and cut it out. So just like we did for our belt, you open your bias and fold it into 2. So I've already opened it up and folded it into 2 with my iron. So the next thing is place it at the edge of your sleeve, just like I'm doing, making sure that the opening side is the one that is facing outward. Okay, so I'll use my pin to hold it down and pin it all round. Then I'll take my other piece of lining and I'm going to use it to stitch on top of it. Okay, so I'll do the same thing for the other sleeve as well. Now that we have attached the bias, the next thing to do is to notch it all the way around so that when we turn it to the right side, it rests well. Now turn it to the right side and go and iron it flat. So this is what it looks like so far. So if you have any excesses, you can just trim it off, but ensuring that you maintain the notches that you have on your sleeve, because it's very important. Next, open up your sleeve this way, then overlap it, making sure that the notches touch each other. Okay, so ensure that the notch are on top of each other, and make sure that when you fold it, you fold them both in the opposite direction. So when you place the sleeve on your dress, this is exactly how it's supposed to look like. The bias is supposed to be facing up this way. Okay, so what I'll do now is to take it to my machine and run my gathered stitch. I'm going to be running 2 stitches so that it will be easier for me to pull, or you can use pleats instead. Okay, so anyone that is convenient for you. So I'm going to run my gathered stitch from that point all the way down to where the bias stop. Okay, I have my gathered stitch on both sleeves now, so I'm going to be pulling the thread to gather it. So can you see how well it came out? It's looking so beautiful. Now that our sleeves are ready, the next thing we're going to do is to attach it to our dress. So you just grab your dress, then you take the sleeve and place it at the armhole. Okay, so you see how you're going to place your sleeve and making sure that the bias is facing upwards. Okay, the curve of the bias is facing upwards. Then don't forget also the hole where the belt is going to pass through. Make sure you open it up. You can use your hemming gum to hold it down so that it opens up properly. All right, then you can also whip the edges of your dress. So this is the outcome of the dress. It really looks lovely. I'm really loving it. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial also. Please, if you have, give me a thumbs up, share to your family and friends. Leave your comments in the comment section and don't forget to subscribe. Till I see you in my next video. Bye.